Hey guys, I am back with the promised 4K up-res comparison between the C100 Mark II and the Canon 90D. I don't think I'm going to color grade these at all, so you guys can just see them as they are. As much as I can match the settings between these two cameras, I will. So we're shooting at f2, 30mm on both cameras. 90D obviously full res at 4K, and we'll upscale the C100 Mark II to match as well. So something I'm slightly worried about here is I think the C100 can be a little soft and filmic looking. I have my white balance on both of these set to 5800 Kelvin, and we're shooting at 850 on the C100 with 2 stops of ND and 100 on the 90D. So I don't know exposure value wise how that matches up, but some of you that are smarter than me out there can probably figure that out and see how close we are exposure wise, but the meters look about the same. So hopefully this is a fair comparison between these two cameras. I'll go to some shots here in a second of other things so you guys don't have to look at my face anymore. You're welcome. All right. Thanks for making it this far, guys. I hope that was helpful for you. I know in my last video, a few people asked, I think I mentioned it, and a few people did ask if we could do this comparison. I know it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it's also 20 degrees outside, so I was feeling slightly lethargic and didn't want to go outside in the cold. But I tried to do what I could here inside the house. I missed focus on a few things, so apologize for that. I also think I had the mic in some of the shots because I forgot how ever so slightly wider the C100 sensor is when they're at the same distance with the same focal length. But all that aside, I think it was a great test, and it really proves that the C100, I think, is a great camera, even upscaled to 4K. Obviously, some of those tests I upscaled it 400% so that you could get a slightly zoomed in picture of it. And even at that level, I don't know that I would call the image usable, but it wasn't awful. So I absolutely think if you had to, you could use this camera amongst others in a 4K project. And as long as you probably weren't using it as your main camera, I think the footage would look more than fine upscaled to 4K most of the time. Obviously, you guys can make your own judgment calls based on the footage you can see there, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. Something else that's interesting is the NFL has been doing something similar and broadcasting in 8K. But what they're doing is using Sony cameras at 4K, downsampling to 1080p, and then resampling back to 8K. And it's some of the best footage they've seen. So I think there is something to be said for a good upscaling program, as well as the fact of just shooting a really good, clean signal, well exposed, all that stuff from the beginning. It gives you a little bit more leverage in post-production. I obviously like the C100 camera better for skin tones, and I just think it feels a little more natural. Although it sort of makes my shirt look blue, even though it's green and blue. And the 90D seemed to hit colors a little bit more accurately, but I don't know, for skin tones and for other things, I think this camera just looks very nice. So that's what we're doing. We're closing out with the C100. Hope you have a great day, everyone, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.